Welcome back to another edition of Loca for Logos. Excited to be with you all. You know who we are at this point. Sam, Myca, and Chloe. Pleasure to be with you. We are just going to jump right into it because we are doing a special college edition. Obviously, we're all Fordham students, so we had to break down some of our favorite, even some of our least favorite college logos. So I wanted to start with the University of Hawaii. And to me, off the jump, I love the color. I absolutely love the color. I think the color is unique. And to me, they could have just done a normal H. Instead, they decided to make it a little bit more graphically interesting. It's curved a little bit. You have spikes along the side. And Chloe, I know you did some research on this as well. So there's a little bit of a symbolism behind this logo also.
Yeah, so there's actually some deeper layers to this University of Hawaii logo. So while the H clearly stands for Hawaii and the University of Hawaii, the school's official website says it also represents the Hawaiian expression ha, which means breath in Hawaiian. And so the cool patterns you see on either side of the H were inspired by Hawaiian kappa designs, which derive from native Hawaiian art. So I think that adds some extra depth to the logo that I find really interesting.
Yeah, it definitely gives me a greater appreciation for it, especially since, everyone is doing this decolonizing, deconstructing of their institutions. So I definitely love that they sort of wanted to honor their indigenous population in Hawaii with this logo.
So University of Hawaii, I think we all like that one. Mm-hmm. We're going to get into another one here that's a little bit more, I guess, questionable for some of us here. We'll jump into it. It's the University of Kansas. And for me, I like this logo a lot. At first, I saw it at first and I was like, I've seen it in the past, but the more that I've been looking at it, the more that I do like the color blue. I like the contrast to the yellow as well. And the shoes for me, it's very cartoonish, this character, this Jayhawk, I guess you could call it. He's got a foot in the air, he's got a foot on the ground. And the yellow shoes, I think, just add an element. You see too many logos are fierce. The animal, mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about Fordham later, so that was a little bit of a tease. This animal is a lot more welcoming, it almost looks like the Jayhawk is smiling in this instance. So for me, I do like this logo a lot. Mike, I think you're on the same page. I know, Chloe, you're not. And you're just a little upset to hearing me praise the Jayhawk here. But Mike, I know you kind of like the logo as well.
Yeah, I definitely like the Jayhawk. I think it's different. I think it's unique. I love that it's got such bright colors. And I think that a lot of schools that have birds at their mascot always just want to be eagles for some reason. And I like that this is different. I'm not quite sure.
The eagle is fierce.
Yeah.
And this isn't loud. It's not that way.
It's not. I don't know what a Jayhawk is, but I'm loving it. So, and I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not a huge fan of this one just because I feel like it's a little bit cringy. I don't like that it's all primary colors. I feel like the bird is giving me a little Sesame Street. I think
that's the point.
Big Bird, Chloe?
I think that's the point.
I'm not a Sesame Street fan, but I wouldn't want to be walking around with this thing on my shirt. I think it's kind of ugly. I'm sorry, everyone, but yeah, definitely not my favorite.
I think when you put it in that context of wearing it on your shirt, I like it a little bit less. But seeing it here, and we're obviously all looking at it, and I'm sure all of our listeners are looking at it as well. I do like it.
Yeah, maybe not on the shirt,
Mm-hmm.
but on the folders or the cups or something.
Okay, that's true. I'll give it to you guys on that one.
All right. Now, as our listeners know, we are Loca for Logos, and I am absolutely Loca for the University of Maryland's state's logo.
Nice.
As a Marylander, I had to bring in my home state's logo, and just look at it. It's got Testudo the Terrapin on there holding our M, and in some cases, you can even have the backdrop of the Maryland state flag, which, if you did not know, is the best state flag out of all 50 states.
It's a great flag. I'm not even from Maryland, and I'm not even going to argue at all, because I do think it is a tremendous flag. And this logo, for me, I love the turtle. I think having a turtle as a mascot is really unique. I don't know how many colleges around the country have a turtle. My guess is not that many, so to me, I do like the turtle, and the colors work well as well. So those two things for me, it's unique, and the colors look well, and it's obviously aesthetically pleasing also.
Yeah, compared to the University of Kansas, I think that this animal
very
logo
in Kansas. Very in Kansas.
Well, I think this one's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. I would wear this turtle on my shirt. I like the colors, the brown and the red, go well together. And I think it's a good balance of not being really cringy and cutesy, and also being a little bit fierce. And I think it's a happy medium, and I would definitely wear this.
Yeah, it's definitely fierce, but not overbearing, which I like.
Yes.
Me too. Moving on, we've got the University of Texas. So this one is definitely classic. It's one of my favorites. I don't really know anything about Texas or the University of Texas, but I would recognize this silhouette of the Texas Longhorn anywhere. It's classic and timeless, and it hasn't changed since 1961. I did my research on this one too, and it's been the same, and it's one of the most iconic college sports logos in the world.
Yeah, it's a great logo. The color's also awesome. To me, what makes this logo good is how recognizable it is. Like you mentioned, Chloe, everyone knows this logo. And I think it symbolizes Texas just about the best way anyone could, obviously with the Longhorn. And it helps when Texas, has their sports, and that's always a big part of a logo's how recognizable a logo can be. So that adds to it as well. But I think that's why we decided to put it on this list, because when people think of college logos, I think University of Texas is probably one of the first ones most people think of.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Now, for some reason, Fordham's theater department is filled with Texans, and
Oh.
Really?
That's very surprising.
Yeah, although we obviously are not in Texas, I find my Texan friends wearing this logo more than the Fordham Ram. Just putting that out there.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
That's a long ways away to be coming to Fordham. I feel like I don't know anyone really from Texas other than Shannon, I know.
Yes.
But so that brings us to our last but not least, Fordham University.
Well,
so,
maybe least. I don't know.
I
Last
mean,
and least, maybe.
We've got some conflicted opinions about this one, guys. So Fordham has two different logos that we see a lot. One of them is the one on the left, the Fordham Ram on top of the F. And then the one on the right is the Fordham crest. So personally, I'm not really a fan of the one on the left. I feel like it's just copied and pasted together and it looks kind of choppy, whereas the one on the right, I think, brings some seriousness to Fordham, and I like this one better.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you, Chloe. The one on the left with the Ram is just not... I don't know. It just definitely looks like someone did this last minute. Like they thought that the F was going to be the final cut, and then someone's like, no.
Yeah.
Put this on top.
Put the
It's
Ram.
just like pasted on there.
Yeah, I think it's. I think the athletic logo, which is the one we're talking about, including the Ram, I think it's not good at all, to be honest. I think it looks like somebody with very little graphic design experience put that together. Like you said, you kind of just like throw the Ram in there. The Ram's also too serious. In my mind, I would prefer the Ram to be a little more welcoming, maybe, a little less serious, especially when you see our sports teams. I mean, they're getting better, but certainly not at that level yet. So
Yeah.
for me, but on the other side, looking at the crest, I do really like the crest. I think the crest shows a lot of elegance to me. That's that's the word I could use to describe it. So I do like that side of Fordham University. But the logo with the Ram, I think something needs to be changed, to be honest.
I got to be honest with you. I was also looking at Fordham's past athletic logos, and the one that we had before this, I think, was actually way better. So
What was the one before this?
I didn't know.
It basically was like the word Fordham in like our typical block letters, but then it had like a different Ram underneath of it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Fordham,
I remember that one.
whoever is doing your PR, please hire me because I really think I could help you out here.
Exactly. And this one also just gives me a little too much Harvard vibes, even though I do like the crest, but I feel like the colors are so similar to Harvard that, I don't know, it's just a little weird to me.
I mean, we do like to claim that we are the Jesuit Harvard.
That is true.
A little pat on the back there for us.
So our final rankings, everyone, are number 1, the University of Texas, number 2, University of Maryland,
I'll take it.
number 3, University of Hawaii, number 4, University of Kansas, and sorry everyone, number 5, Fordham University. So everyone, that will do it for us tonight. I hope none of you Rams take offense to our not so high ranking of Fordham University's logo. It's all in good fun. And make sure to follow us on all our socials at Loca for Logos, and we will see you all next week on Loca for Logos with Sam, Myca, and Chloe.